Hello and welcome. My apologies for the slight delay in starting. We had a few technical issues that hopefully we have now resolved. So good afternoon, my name's Ian, and I'd like to welcome you to this presentation. Today we'll be looking at some of the advanced analytical and business intelligence tools within the Priority ERP system. I'm going to be using the latest version, the latest release, which is 18.1. And I'll be using the web or rich interface, as we call it, which is a prerequisite for some of the new functionality we'll look at today. There will be an option of a Q&A session at the end. Either type your question directly, or if you prefer to speak, raise your hand and you'll be unmuted to ask a question. Could we please ask you at the end to fill out the survey that we'll send out? Gives us the opportunity of improving these presentations for next time. And finally, please have a look at our webinar site where you can pick up previous webinars, upcoming events, and let us know what you'd like to see in future presentations. The address of this is webinar.meditechuk.com. That's webinar.meditechuk.com. Okay, let's make a start. I've got a couple of slides. I'm going to focus more on the actual software itself rather than slides, but we've got a few which just explain a little bit of what we're trying to do today. So the first question we need to look at is what does BI or business intelligence offer you? BI is all about giving you a snapshot of how the business is performing right now. Companies spend a huge amount of time and money entering data into ERP systems. Customer records, quotations, sale orders, production information, and so on. And they use the information for the day-to-day running of the business, controlling production and finance and so on. But with this information, BI, it can be validated, it can be compared, it can be filtered, and clearly displayed to show how each area of the business is performing. How each of our products are performing, our employees, our customers, how they're all performing. It gives us real insight into what's happening. Having the correct information to hand and displayed in a clear format gives employees the ability to make informed decisions based on current, accurate data. There's nothing worse than trying to make a decision when you don't have the full facts, the up-to-date information. With BI, you've got that information at hand, you can use it, it's readily available. A better working environment for an empowered workforce is our game. In Priority, you'll see how we can present BI information using various tools. There are configurable dashboards targeted at specific user roles, and multiple BI tools present the data in a format that can be easily interrogated with drill-down capabilities. This means we can use this data to understand our customers, use BI data to focus marketing activity based on customer habits, monitor how the effects or how new designs, new pricing, new strategies affect your customer base, and use this to plan ahead. One of the simple changes we can make is in optimizing the parts that we stock, optimize the space. Very easy change to make, and with BI it's very easy to identify unpopular, slow-moving inventory and filter it out of your business. Let's focus on the key products. Obviously, having this information to hand enables us to boost productivity. Staff are informed, they make correct decisions, and problem areas can easily be identified and resolved. Oops, I'm on too far. In summary, without BI, how can we tell how well the business is performing, the business is functioning? Okay, let's move on from that and start looking at the product itself. So here we'll start looking at a new feature which was introduced in the latest version, version 18.1. It's an enhanced user interface tool called Quick Insight, or QI. Adding QI means that when you first log into Priority, or whenever you return to your home page, you're immediately presented with a real-time view of critical KPIs. Here, I'm looking at my home page, where those of you familiar with the interface may notice a new icon top right, this little graph. This replaced the old dustbin icon, which was used for removing tiles. Just for your information, that's now achieved by clicking on the corner of the tile and selecting delete, and that will remove the tile for you. Okay, back to the graph. If I select it, I'm presented with a list of options. There are currently 10, but this will be extended in future updates. So I can choose the desired topic, and if we have a look down, you see we have various possibilities. In this case, I'm going to go for open sales orders. I can choose additional portlets if I wish, so let's go also for P&L. Add that one, and P&L, just let me catch up. Okay, and we can close the selection window. So we can have multiple portlets as required. And now we can drag them into the required position. So as I do that, my desktop will rearrange itself. I'll put this one up here, and the P&L below it. Now that we have these portlets, I can select how I wish to filter the data. Here with this pull-down menu, I can select by part or by customer. So if I change by part, the graph will change, or by customer. And in the P&L portlet, I can select the desired date range by selecting choose date in the pull down on the top left hand corner. In the same way that to remove a tile, remove a portlet, simply select delete from the top and it will remove it. I could also use this menu to open up this graph in a separate window if you wanted a bigger view. Back to the portlet. If I hover over one of these columns, we're prompted with the subject and the value. Let's move around here. And if I click the column itself, I can drill down into the detailed BI report. And here, in this particular example, we're in open sales orders. So here I can see the details of the open sales orders, those in red being past due date. The data is hyperlinked, so if I wish to drill further into a particular sales order, I can do so by clicking the sales order number, which will then open up that sales order in the order form. So if we select one of these, it will take me back to my priority window. It will open up the sales order form, which is obviously then populated, and we can see here the sales order details, the part number details, and if we wish we could drill further, so I could actually drill down completely into this part if we wish. So everything is linked. More of that later. We're going to look at that in a bit more detail a bit later on in the presentation. Okay, and we'll pop out of there. Okay, we'll keep that one for later and get back to my home page. For a more elaborate view of business critical data, we can use priorities, dashboards, and business intelligence or BI tools. So if I open up the Executive Reports tab, you'll see that for each module there are numerous dashboards tailored for specific roles. So for example, in financials I can see the Executive and CFO dashboard. In sales, we have dashboards for looking at customers, or for parts, or for a particular role, such as a sales manager dashboard. Let's have a look at one of these in more detail. I'm going to go for the executive dashboard, which I've selected in the financials module. And I'm now presented with a condensed view of the data held within the software. These areas, these sections, are known as Webparts, and we have a number of options as to how we filter and view the data. So, for example, I could select a graphical representation, or I could change that to a text-based view. We can change the style of the graphs. If I click on the icons up here, then I can select different graph styles. If I wish to select a date range in here, we're presented with a window for a from and to date, so we can select the dates that are displayed. And if we change the graphs down here, we can say we can interrogate this information, so I can use this to zoom in. Let's just move that around a little bit, so I can move this graph around. Never click on any of these areas, it will zoom into that area. And there we've zoomed into the BI. If we want to change the information that we see, the windows or the web parts, then we click on the pencil here, and we have a drag and drop system. So if I wanted it to be the other way around, let's move this one down, move the sales orders up a little bit, and it could be that we want to bring in purchase orders or sales opportunities. It's very straightforward, just drag and drop onto this menu, and then when we click OK, it will change and give me a different view. There you go. Okay. Now, when we were in the back on this screen here, when we were in the executive reports, you may have noticed that in addition to the dashboards, there's quite a few entries for BI. Now, these are our business intelligence, business tools. We'll take an example of one. Let's go for what should we go for? Sales. Let's go for sales order analysis BI. So this opens up in a new window. So now we can select the company that we wish to see, the period, so let's take a historical period, and the data that we're interested in, perhaps quarters in the year. So now we're presented with quarterly totals for each defined range. Because I'm in a multi-dimensional view, we can split this down or drill down into this information. So if I select here, drill down, I could filter here by customer or by part. So let's filter initially by customer. And we can see now that these totals are broken down across each of the customers. If I want to filter further, let's pick one with a value and select that we want to filter now by part number. Then that will drill down further into the parts within that. And if I want a detailed report of any of these values, it's fully hyperlinked. So I click on the detailed report, then it will take me straight through into the order analysis BI. Okay, that was a fairly swift view of BI dashboards and portlets. We now have an opportunity to answer any questions. So if you'd like to ask a question, either type your question directly, or if you prefer to speak, raise your hand using the bar, and we'll endeavour to answer your questions. Not seen any yet, so feel free. Okay, I must have done a good job then if there are no questions. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you have a good afternoon. Please join us for the next webinar, details of which will be announced shortly. Thank you very much.